What's something that just disappeared without anyone noticing? Manual physical switches, buttons, etc. Everything is a touch screen or touch sensitive thing now. I really hate touching a completely flat, smooth surface to activate or work something. It makes it nearly impossible to do without looking. Many also require multiple seconds of touching to avoid accidental activation. Looking at you. Washing machines, at least 5-6 years ago they had those sort of squishy bumps, but still. I miss dials and knobs and switches. I want the feedback. There was a trailer for a TV series back in 2019 I believe. It was a trailer for a cartoon about zodiac signs represented as animals. Virgo was a cat, Pisces was a dolphin, etc. Everyone hated it. I completely forgot about it and years later I searched it up again, for something, anything about it, but I found nothing. It's like it never existed. The great life we had before the 2-week wait, crying face. I knew in my heart back in 2020 that life as we knew it would never go back to normal. I had my children in 2021, 2023. It hurts that life has lost its luster during a time that should be my happiest years. Seems like everyone is living in a state of fight or flight nowadays. Sadly, actual winters. Ending here. Yes, there will be cold days, but we had our usual December warm up already and expecting a nor'easter tomorrow which should be all snow, but of course it's too warm and in the 50s. Christmas say forecast calling for low 50s. Can't remember the last time it felt seasonable for Christmas. People dressing well and respectfully. Generally now, most people dress like shit. Like they rolled off their couch and decided that the look works. Leggings on women and nylon cargo shorts on men. Looks like no one has any self-pride. Now? Dressing well is an act of rebellion and I'm here for that. There used to be more third places that didn't cost money. There are parks here and there and libraries, but otherwise, there's church and stores. They've been dwindling for decades, but I graduated in 2010 and have noticed a significant decrease in the last decade or so. It's really sad. Shark bites fruit snacks. I was telling my daughter how I'd always save the white sharks for last since they were good, and that we'd pick some up at the grocery store later. When I looked, I was so sad to learn they stopped carrying them years ago. Newspapers. They're dying left and right these days. Print has become expensive, and the papers that survive are all going to online-only access. Try packing something now. Nobody has any newspapers laying around to stuff in the boxes anymore. The shock and awe on National weeks-long morning of mass shootings. The victims and their families are lucky if they get 72 hours of coverage these days. Can you remember when and where the last one was and how many innocent victims? Personal privacy. Ubiquitous cameras mean anyone can get a good idea of your day-to-day movements without doing anything particularly expensive or illegal. And your smartphone is probably more aware of your routine than you are. Excedrin PM one day you're ubiquitous enough to be a joke in Judd Apatow film, and the next you're gone for 3 years before a quiet reformulation shows up under Excedrin PM headache, and these things are not the same. Native ecosystems. I walk around the woods and only see invasive plants. My friends walk around and see a beautiful lush forest. True native ecosystems, at least here in the US, are in peril and hardly anyone notices. I love the old Farmville. It was devastating though when all your crops withered. It was such a fun community game on Facebook and you could visit everyone's farms. You don't get stuff like that now. Bugs on your windshield. In the 80s and 90s, nearly every time you got gas you'd have to clean your windshield from all the bugs that had splattered on it. Not so much if at all anymore. There's not really one word for it, but there used to be this thing where you weren't ever supposed to reveal your real name online. Now it's pretty much commonplace for people to do so. Flying insects were common when I was a kid. Bees, butterflies, swarms of gnats that hovered around lights. Now it seems like a special occasion to see one that isn't a fly. Phone booths. I didn't realize I hadn't seen one in years until I came across one. It was Lyco, I remember that. The phone was ripped out of it though. Value for money. Fuck subscriptions, shrinkflation, high fructose corn syrup everywhere, unmatched corporate greed and just about everything else. Fidget spinners. I was working in a toy store when they started getting real popular, then about 6 months later they had all kinda disappeared. June bugs. Fireflies for the most part. Chocolate that actually tastes good. Those anti-theft devices people used to put on car steering wheels. People communicating isn't really listening to each other and not being distracted by that tracking device glued to people's hands. Pepperidge Farms had a frozen broccoli cheese pastry puff that was the best thing ever. It doesn't exist anymore. Actual public roads. Because most public roads are for private cars only now, Everyone else gets pushed to the sidewalk. Magazine shops. The ones where you could get obscure titles you don't see at Walmart or that section in your supermarket. Vaping-related lung injury illness. The BLM movement. The leaders all laundered money for themselves and riots stopped. I guess racism was fixed. Smoky-flavored hickory sticks. They were my favorite chips and then one day it was just original flavored. MySpace. We were addicted to it and then one day was just the last time we ever logged in without noticing. Collect calling. There used to be ads for 1800 collect and 1800 call ATT all the time. And now nothing. Blake Lively. And Amanda Peet. They were supposed to have huge Hollywood careers, then just disappeared. McDonald's all-day breakfast. They quietly discontinued it at the beginning of the COVID pandemic. Metal clarinets. Bugs. Back in the day when you got gas you always had to clean your windshield of dead bugs. 24 hours urgent care. Have something serious but not quite the importance of the ER. Tough shit. The Cheers reboot pilot episode from Paramount. It was posted for like 2 hours and gone. This wacky report I had about Putin and his election meddling in 2016. So pesky. Gaudier the singer with one hit track. Now he's just somebody that we used to know. Apparently this spread because it was on the front page just some days ago. I swear, I've seen the same question word for word a month ago here. Freaking Reddit awards, where did they go and why no one has noticed? Specific instances that warrant tipping. Now everyone asks for a tip, me from my past 2 lives. Nobody called or attempted to contact me. I only came here hoping to find my left socks. Never mind, carry on. Customer service and companies caring if they lose your business. Crystal clear Pepsi. Not sure why I even bother waking up anymore. Those monoliths that were randomly appearing a few years ago. I'm so sorry. Madeline McCann, for the first few hours anyway. Apparently not this question, which appears every few weeks. Commercials. My binder of top secret Russian intel. Has anyone seen it? I don't fucking know. You're at a karma whore. Just tell us. The news, just the news, not your or anyone else's opinion. Coke Studios like Habbo Hotel but by Coca-Cola. The Mrs. Title and seasonings. It's just Ash now. Computer viruses that had actual names. Selfie sticks. Those plastic things that used to be in soda bottle caps. The water on my kitchen floor 5 minutes after I mopped. Certainly not this question. It reappears every week. Well, it's not this question. It's up every other day. My answer to this question is always chalky dog poop. Al Pacino. I haven't seen him in anything for years.